This is my 7-step checklist to building a chatbot. We'll go through each step in detail with both free and paid options. Hi, I'm Srinath Warrior. I'm an AI engineering manager from Bangalore. Building a chatbot is an excellent entry point into AI in 2025. And it has never been easier than now to get started. So let's start with the first step of creating a simple chatbot UI. With this step, you are just building a UI layer which can connect to any chatbot API. You can use Vercel's AI template and click on deploy for a very simple chatbot UI. You can of course keep improving this UI in the future for more complex UI animations or more UI elements for user to see instead of plain text responses. Now with step 2, you will connect the UI bot to a large language model. So here we are just using an LLM like GPT-4o Mini directly and not teaching it anything on top. So you can start with Grok's free API, but once you get comfortable with it, if you're okay to spend around 100 to 500 rupees for testing your bot, then I would suggest to start using OpenAI 4o Mini model. The easiest way to do this is by using OpenAI's API directly, which allows you to use OpenAI's large language models or LLM directly within your chatbot. Let's talk about the pricing. Currently, OpenAI's GPT-4o Mini model costs roughly 1 Indian rupee for 700 chats with 20 words in each chat. So if you ask 700 questions, each with 20 words in your question and each response with 20 words, it'll cost you around 1 rupee. Obviously, most of your basic testing will not require so many chats. So this is actually quite cheap to get started. Now at this step, you'll need some basic prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is basically telling your LLM exactly how you want it to respond to user queries. Because the LLM knows nothing about your company. So before you send your user's query to the LLM, you need to send a fixed explanation so that the LLM can respond better with that knowledge. But of course, this ends up increasing your costs. To avoid this, we move on to the next step. To avoid sending large prompts every time, you can fine-tune your LLM. Basically, you're telling your LLM to remember something because then you don't need to send it every time. The best data to send to the LLM is your company's help documentation, so users can get answers to common questions without always needing your support team. But how can you actually send this data with fine-tuning to the LLM in advance before your customer asks a question? All LLMs offer a fine-tuning API on its models, even the GPT-4o Mini. So if you're fine-tuning GPT-4o Mini, you can handle around 8,000 words for 1 Indian rupee. So you can upload all your public help documents as training data for the model to learn from. And it'll be quite cheap. Once trained, the bot can respond directly to your users with accurate, helpful information about your product. And this reduces the need for human support. The problem with fine-tuning is that you need to keep uploading data to the LLM to make newer versions. But with step 4, we'll take our chatbot a step further by introducing Retrieval Augmented Generation or RAG. Here, the model will retrieve user-specific data to give personalized responses based on each customer's experience with your product. To do this, you'll continuously collect all the relevant data and save them as vector embeddings. Then, when the user asks a question, you'll go and check in this embedding table and then send it to the LLM without needing to update the LLM version itself. You can use OpenAI and Pinecone for RAG, where Pinecone serves as a vector database that stores and retrieves relevant data points in real time, making the chatbot's responses much better. You can also use Postgres's PG Vector, which is already available on Vercel with this template. Another option is to do this with Supabase, and Vercel has an easy integration layer to Supabase as well. In this step 4, use customer-specific data like user preferences for RAG. This will also help improve the response. For example, this is how ChatGPT saves specific data from conversations to use for future results. One important thing to note here is GDPR, because data privacy is very critical here. Be cautious to comply with data protection policies or DPP and ensure that no sensitive data is compromised. To enhance the results even more, you can also provide the entire past chat history as RAG to the LLM. This ensures that LLM conversations don't seem broken. But there are a couple of issues to note here. The first is scale. As your chat history increases, you cannot keep on sending your entire history to LLM every time. You need to manage the scale. The second is relevancy. Keep identifying better ways to find out which part of your chat history is relevant for the currently asked question, instead of blindly giving all of the data to the LLM. In step 6, you'll use RAG with more complex, customized training that involves your internal databases. because a lot of customer data lies in structured format within your database tables. So try to convert this structured content into sentence format, since LLMs work best with unstructured texts. So for really good responses, if you mix fine-tuning and RAG, convert structured to unstructured, and you manage the AI ops part of it for scale, then it's all sorted. And finally, you can add voice functionality for a smoother, more accessible user experience. You can use OpenAI's Whisper API to handle speech-to-text conversion, allowing users to interact with the chatbot using voice input. Whisper is really good for transcription, and it supports multiple languages as well. For text-to-speech, you can use either OpenAI or other TTS services. So you can capture textual responses and convert them back to audio. Now, what about the pricing for these services? Whisper's API costs around 1 Indian rupee to transcribe 2 minutes of audio and 1 Indian rupee to convert 600 words to audio. So this is obviously more expensive than just using text and text. So consider this calculation before making the switch to audio. Now, there are ready-made tools like Chatbase, VectorShift, N8N, or even OpenAI's ChatGPT Plus, where you can upload a bunch of documents and you get a chatbot easily without any coding. This is a great opportunity for people without coding experience. And AI agencies are definitely earning good money with this. But the market for such AI agencies are already very crowded. For example, a month back I had posted on an AI community that I'm looking for AI developers to build a chatbot. I got more than 30 messages within 5 hours from different agencies. So considering such a crowded market, you'll have to get really good at sales and marketing for your AI agency to work. There are also some reasons why companies might not want to depend on these no-code tools. The first is dependency on external companies for support. If your AI agency uses a no-code tool for building chatbots, many companies would then be dependent on this tool for any support issues, and any technical issues by this tool would then reflect poorly on your agency. Second is flexibility of adding new features. And this is an even bigger reason, because if companies want to enhance features on the chatbot, improve the type of responses and complex actions on specific user queries, the tool might not be able to support all of them. So building your own chatbot from scratch is definitely useful and better for scale. Now, if you can do some basic coding, the easiest way to get started is using Vercel's Next.js AI chatbot template. This is what I used for all my AI learning experiments. You can click on the deploy button and just follow the steps from there. If you want to start for free and you're okay with some more additional coding, you can also use Grok's free API connected to Llama 3.1 LLM. Don't just see this video and forget about it. Comment below a date by which you will create a chatbot at least till step 3. And then come back here and reply on your experience. If possible, put a link to the bot as well so that I can see it. Make sure to subscribe to learn and earn more with AI. Thank you for watching.